that stuff. It's, well, anyway, episode 2, Equal Fights, kicking off right now. I am your host, Joe.
And I am
with
your
me,
co-host.
That's right.
Interrupting
with me
him.
always.
Why does the woman have to be the co-host?
Fine.
You know
go.
what? Fine.
I don't even care.
We're both co-hosts. We're
Okay,
equally
let me try this
co-hosting
again.
this.
I am your... Really? You gonna keep talking during it?
We have to redo this whole intro. We didn't know.
You thought we were starting over? We don't start over for women. There, that's a
We
good
do
start.
now.
That's a good start. Anyway, I am
Yikes.
your co-host, your lower co-host, Joe. With me, as always, is my
Lower
much
co-host.
better, equal paid, which is 0 because I don't make money either, Andrea.
That's actually That's the subtitle for the podcast is equal pay.
Yeah.
I want to get this out of the way really quick. If my voice sounds crap on recording, it's because I'm getting over having a head cold. So I apologize if there is more raspiness and or vocal fry than normal. And I sound more nasally because I hate the sound of my voice on recording to start. So I can't imagine what it sounds like right now.
You know, the raspiness, though, could add to your mystique, though.
I mean, maybe.
Because you got hotter as you got older.
I got hotter. I can now work as a phone sex operator. Like,
And now you're like,
this cold,
welcome to
man.
the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
With me, I am Andrea, your guide into darkness.
I mean, kind of, yeah. That
Okay,
rules.
It's a different theme, but we should.
That rules. That sounds like a death metal podcast. We should do that.
Oh, we should do that. Oh, women in metal.
I have a lot of opinions on this
Yeah.
because I love a whole lot of women in
Okay,
metal.
but this episode shouldn't be us just
This is
coming up
not.
with ideas. We already have one, so let's
we have
go.
really good ideas. So actually, what we're going to talk about today is something that I stumbled on by accident last year while I was looking for wedding bands for my husband and I. And this struck me as very funny. So anyone who's getting married, you know, you go through the process of finding your jewelry and you want to find your bands, whatever. So I was looking for matching wedding bands for me and my husband. Turns out we didn't end up with matching bands, but that's beside the point. While searching for wedding bands, I stumbled across, no joke, Manly Bands. It is a entire wedding band like shop that is supposed to take away the stigma of men wearing jewelry in the first place, but also all of their jewelry, it's oh man, they all have really hyper masculine advertising and hyper masculine names. So you've got bands like, and I'm pulling it up for reference.
We'll post this link too.
Yeah, this is great. We're going to post links to a whole lot of overly manly things, like the Blue Steel, the Hero, the CEO, the Savant, the Hunter,
I want the CEO.
Mr. Kensington,
Oh no! I want the wait. Do I want the CEO or the Hunter?
the
Can I-
Mountain Man.
Oh, never mind. That's that one.
And then there apparently now are collections. So there's the Founders line, the Adventurer collection, the Entrepreneur collection, and so basically,
Do they have a tries hard in bed ring?
I wish.
Okay.
So I want
I'll look for that.
to just point out that this is part of their advertising spiel. Is quote, here at Manly Bands, boring and overpriced are not in our admittedly limited vocabulary. So they're already talking about how stupid men are about jewelry just to start as advertising, so you can identify with them. Like,
How much
wow,
are
men
those?
are dumb.
How much are those?
Depending, they're
Give me a range.
It's like
Give me a range
200.
on. Give me a range on if I were to go for the CEO.
The CEO starts at $240, and they're like tungsten carbide.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You know, so they're nothing special. They're things you can buy like on Etsy or Amazon.
I got my ring on Etsy.
We went through a local jeweler for hours, and Nick still got one that was tungsten carbide, so it was fine. But
Nick is her husband.
yeah, Nick is my husband, by the way. His name is Nick.
We'll post about him also.
Yes, we will.
So hands off the co-host.
So that got me onto this line of hyper masculine advertising where we're adding an unnecessary gender component to things we don't need. And the more I started like
You sent me
noticing
so
it, I
many.
found so
Oh
many
my
different
God.
examples.
You said like 10 texts right in a row.
Yeah, Givenchy. I'm not stylish at all, guys. But whatever, that name brand came out with a makeup line that they had to exclusively brand as unisex makeup. Nothing is different about it. There is no chemical signature that means it reacts better with men's skin versus women's skin or anybody else. But they had to like really heavily market it as unisex, and it boggles my mind. It's like, what was the purpose of this? You're taking
I don't know.
why are we doing this? Just the hyper masculine branding. And I want to note also that while we're recording this episode, we are drinking the eponymous pink wine for dudes, except we're not, because I couldn't afford to buy it because it is a mail order wine club subscription thing. So I did bring over a bottle of Brosé for us to share.
This is the one that really stuck out to me because all those ones you sent were funny. The manly bands, I didn't really understand that. Men can wear rings, obviously. I'm wearing one, and I'm super manly. Patrick wore one for a while. You know, I know guys that wear jewelry. Some of them have necklaces. I've seen.
Oh, we got to get into this too.
The necklace detectives. But I don't understand.
We got to talk about the social implications of men wearing jewelry.
Of course, I don't understand why But I mean, I would love to sit in these marketing like meetings when they're like, wait a minute, I got it. Rings for men. And everyone just like, oh my God, Greg's done it again.
He did it. He came up with it. He nailed it.
But it was the pink wine for dudes that really stuck out to me.
So pink wine for dudes is an actual rosé provided by a winery called Knocking Point. And okay, so there's a whole lot to unpack here. We'll start with the fact that it's like, let's go ahead and just throw this in your face that men can drink pink wine and it doesn't make you any less of a man. But this rosé, not blended any way differently than any other rosé, probably, is specifically.
Probably, we don't know.
Specifically, this is for dudes.
They put estrogen in it.
They have T-shirts that say "Pink Wine for Dudes" too, and
I want one so bad.
I really think
I do want one, and eventually we were actually going to get one of these bottles for the for this episode because we wanted to drink it during it. You know, that way, you know, it just made more sense.
So we got Brosé instead.
Right, but we got Brosé instead because I think it was going to take a couple days to get here, and it was like $48, and
I wasn't gonna do that, but
yeah.
I could see myself trying it.
No.
I will note that in their advertisement they do actually say, "Ladies, this one isn't just for the dudes." In case we needed permission to drink wine.
I didn't, because I've actually had, believe it or not, I've had pink colored wine prior to today. No, yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I thought this was solely.
Now, granted, I lost my man card.
For like a day.
Yeah. I just
every
there's
glass
a fee.
of pink wine you have.
Yeah,
like
there's
you
a
another,
fee. I had to pay a fee, but I got the card back.
They cut it in half and are like, okay,
They
you can
cut it in
reapply
half,
next week.
like it's an expired credit card,
Yeah.
like at the table. Like
You can just
no.
You can reapply later. No, so
I love the pink wine for dudes. I loved it for a couple because you mentioned something like, "Yo, don't worry, you can still drink pink wine even if you're a guy." It almost feels like they were trying to guilt men into drinking this. That was my first takeaway because I didn't understand it. Like, why? What do you?
yeah,
who
and
cares?
that's always my first reaction when I see stuff like this. Like, at what point did rosé become gendered? I mean, we
Everything's
could
gendered now.
go deep diving into like wine culture and like how it's always been kind of targeted towards like wine mom culture and it's wine o'clock culture, which is a whole other chestnut that we're not going to unpack. But it's like, at what point did we decide like wine used to have these, like, it was used to be lauded as like a medical cure for so many things. Like, you used to be prescribed wine by people like Pliny the Elder for all your problems. I listened to a podcast about this. About
No,
wine.
wait, go back. I have no idea what you just said. Say that again.
Okay, you don't know who Pliny the Elder is?
No.
So
Is he like Papa Smurf?
he is not.
Okay.
He's one of these prolific old Greek, I think, writers who like had a lot of opinions about things and thought and was like a Renaissance man in his time. The long and short of it was that actually a podcast I just listened to was talking about the medicinal benefits of wine from like history onward and what it used to be prescribed.
That makes
for.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should
So,
probably be prescribed for more. It probably would have helped you with your raspy voice. Were you drinking
you know
enough
what?
wine?
That's what I'm trying now.
Were you drinking enough wine?
I was not. I tried. I think it was because I was drinking too much beer and not enough wine.
I'm not even sure that's a thing.
But
go
that's
ahead.
but think about it too. Think about it.
Wait. Why were you
Beer.
drinking beer? You're a girl.
Exactly. Your immediate thing is I was about to say.
You're a girl.
Beer is a man's drink. Wine is a woman's drink. How?
Is this the counter to like those like 80s and 90s Bud Light commercials where guys would be, well, you're too young for this.
I was about to say.
But like where, it'd be like a completely stereotypical, nothing but a bunch of dudes drinking beer, and they're at a pool party, and they're surrounded by girls in bikinis. None of them are drinking. They're just really interested in the guys because they're drinking beer. Because I don't know if you know this, when a woman sees a, kind of like you with winking, when a
Nice callback.
very nice. Yeah, when a woman sees a man with a beer, she can't resist him.
Yeah, it's
She's like, oh my God, that's a real man.
Yeah, beer became indicative of masculinity. Like, yes, I'm a man. I have beer. Beer make man. Like, why? How? How did we get to this point? Especially now, because like, we've gone and developed like the whole craft beer industry, and we've got all these now artisan beers. It's still a very male-dominated industry, to the point where they actually had to create something called the Pink Boots Society, which is about like elevating women in brewing. So I'm like, okay, so how
that's you know what, that's a really good, I didn't really thought about that, because mainly when I'm at the breweries, I'm just drinking the beer.
I mean, same.
But I can't think of any time that I've been to any of the 3,500 breweries that are in Cleveland where there was like
more breweries than people. Thanks, Mike Polk.
Definitely more brewery. Oh, I just heard about that today.
Yeah, it's good.
But no, I've not seen anything about a lady brewer. Not that ladies cannot brew. That's not true at all. But because I've done it, ain't fucking hard. And I'm sure a woman can crack that code. It's not fucking difficult.
Masthead actually had a collaboration with Pink Boots Society, which is how I came to discover that there was
Pink Boots Society, give me some background.
So Pink Boots Society is exactly like what it is. It's like it's a platform. It's like a non-profit of some kind. You can follow them on Instagram, and it's just like propagating for women in brewing and the brewing industry.
Okay.
And not in this
now, actually.
I was gonna say, not in the sales role, not in this representative role, but instead like in the actual hands-on brewing like role. So it's interesting because that speaks so much to and to circle back to the actual point of this, it speaks so much to ways that we have advertised genderless things like alcohol to be specific to gender. So
yeah, I don't get that. And
like there's no wine dad culture. There's wine mom culture.
No, you're right. I don't. That doesn't make, because of the stigma that wine is for girls and beer is for boys.
Exactly.
Vodka is.
And like
vodka
girly
is,
frou-frou drinks. There's always like a man who likes a mixed drink is somehow less of a man because he likes something that tastes like fruit and sugar.
Yeah, well, that part's true. But or like but like vodka, I think is more geared toward women because you got like the
low calorie, clear
all that
spirit,
kind of shit. And bourbon is more geared toward, the brown liquor is more geared toward men. I can tell you firsthand that the lady sitting to my right definitely shatters that one because she loves bourbon and whiskey.
Love it.
She's brought a couple over to let us sample. I think during the first Inso one, you brought over the Bob Dylan one?
Oh, the Bob Dylan is like, I have turned so many people onto Heaven's Door because
Heaven's Door, that was it.
Yeah, that Tennessee bourbon that he makes is incredible.
Which is so weird because again, you're a girl. Why would they even sell it to you?
Why do I know anything about whiskey?
Why would they even sell it?
I had to do some things.
Okay? Oh, did a guy buy it for you?
Yeah, my husband.
That's the only way it could have happened.
Because I'm completely at his every beck and call. So we see examples of like this sort of masculine advertising for things that are completely unnecessary. I guess my favorite example to kind of parody but also use the point is Old Spice, because Old Spice really plays on this idea of
this is my brand too,
and it's my brand.
This is my brand. It really is.
I love it. No, it's great because it really does like drive this idea of like the manly man. And like I sent Joe pictures when I was shopping one day of just like the names of the fragrances for men's deodorant.
Bear
Glove. It has to be things like
mine's Bear Glove.
Bear Glove or Mountain Frost, and then women get like lilac and fresh powder, clean laundry. We get all this bullshit.
In the interest of equality, I'm gonna switch to lilac for 2 months.
I think mine is the deep sea one, and the reason I bought it is because the label said guaranteed no eels.
No.
I didn't want eels in my deodorant.
I think I like the Bear Glove just because there's a picture of a bear on it.
Well, that's the thing.
The marketing worked.
And that's the thing. And you watch the commercials, and you've got like, it's Terry Crews, right? Yeah, so you've got hyper masculine but known feminist Terry Crews.
Super
Like,
known feminist.
yeah,
you
he's
hear him in
great.
interviews?
Oh, he's great.
Super known feminist.
I love him. But you know, he's playing on these like really big, muscly, masculine man tropes. Like that Old Spice is the one where like I'm on the horse and suddenly and look at me and this is that and this is that. Like, but it parodies the hyper masculine advertising culture while simultaneously benefiting from it. Because like you said, you like Bear Glove, it's got a bear on it.
I love the picture. 100%.
It's
I
all
don't even know
about-
if it smells good. I just like the picture.
it-
I like when Chris is like, more Bear Glove. I'm like, you got it. she'll be at like Target and be like, do you need anything? More Bear Glove? I'm like, you know I need more Bear Glove.
Everybody
and then she
needs
comes
more Bear
home and
Glove.
shit gets sexy.
I'm really
Just
glad
kidding.
that
She's
Old
like,
Spice
put it
is
on. You
enabling
smell like
that
shit.
way.
But yeah, that's a funny example because I guess maybe I guess that might be an example of it actually working because I didn't think of it. I mean, like I really like the picture because prior to that,
And it's
I
a
never
bear.
used Old Spice. I just really like the picture.
Yeah, like if it was just a plain Old Spice label that didn't have like something aggressive on it.
No, I'd be like, what
if
am
it
I, a
was just
fucking
like,
elderly old man? I don't want that.
Exactly. You want something that's interesting that catches your eye, and so
Yeah.
they do that with hyper masculine imagery. So something to kind of jumpstart this a little bit is, of course, I had to go do the science. I had to
Nerd,
go do the
go.
research. Look, I got nothing else to do. So
I can't read.
So there was a 1984 study that was that's out there that identifies the 3 parameters for like hyper masculine advertising. So your 3 parameters are: 1, there's a callous attitude towards women. So women are props, we are disposable, we are accessories, we are not central to your lives, but instead we are more of an addition. You know, so there's this
100%
callous,
with you so far.
yeah, this callous attitude towards women. There's also
When is this? You said 1984?
this study that outlined these 3 parameters was from 1984.
It kind of makes sense, especially in 1984, that was a parameter too.
Yeah, and then there's also that violence is manly,
Super manly.
and that violent imagery and violent tendencies and that acting out in a violent way is manly.
Yeah, when was there a female action star? The last 2 years? I mean, I'm dead serious. Dead serious. In the 80s in particular. In the
I
80s,
was gonna say in the 80s, we're not getting
Stallone,
anything.
Schwarzenegger,
You
Die
get,
Hard.
You get the era of the masculine, violent
Yeah.
man.
And then sometime in like the summer of 2018, they're like, maybe we should throw a woman in
Maybe-
here.
maybe
and
Brie
it
Larson
fucking
can
worked
do
like
something.
crazy. Wonder Woman's an awesome movie.
And Brie Larson shows up at Captain Marvel. Everything's great. Actually, that
Yep.
ties into the next point, which was the next parameter, was that danger is exciting. Danger, you strive for danger. You strive for dangerous situations where you come out on top and probably used violent means to get there.
I do and make, but I don't want to be in danger.
no,
Someone else being in danger is super exciting.
exactly. But
But,
you personally, nah.
Yeah, but no, again, I'd lose my man card if I was put in real danger.
Right. Same.
I gotta get a man card
You-
too.
I'm gonna make
like
you
I gotta
one.
get a card. A man. Like there are 2 things that we have to do. I need you to make me a laminated card that just says man card.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get you that superlative sash that says most likely to get hotter after high school.
We're
For
never
those
gonna
of you who
let that
didn't listen
go.
to the first episode,
need to
I've
go back and
mentioned-
listen to the
I've
first
mentioned
episode.
2 things here that were from the first episode. One, some wank that Andrea went to high school with reached out to her online and in his mind was dropping some fucking love on her and
Compliments,
was like,
man.
hey, you got hot.
And it's kind of valid.
I know, but it's so funny because it's just like, so how many years was I not hot if I just got hot?
That was my first question. Is
You're
like, what
not
did you
so
think?
far removed from high school, so
I'm not.
that
It's only
means
10 years.
In his compliment, he's like, I don't know, 70% of your life you were undesirable.
Thanks, dude.
So props on the last few years.
Thanks, dude. Dad, that's definitely something to listen to. So, you know.
The other thing is, if you wink at Andrea, you're halfway
I'm
there.
For it.
You are halfway there.
You know, Marilyn Monroe said that, if you make a girl laugh, you can make her do anything. Well, you just wink at me. And
Yeah, you wink
I
at
at least will give
Andrea.
you a handy. I don't know.
Okay, well, we're
Sorry,
going
I
to get
really did that for the response of the room.
the amount. We just got 27 new followers.
So, anyway, back to science.
Yeah, and they're all just winky emojis.
Somebody
Dude,
sent
that'd be
an-
really funny if we just started getting winky emojis as comments.
Somebody sent an eggplant with all the water drops after the fact, like we're doing one
Andrea's
of those.
icing down her arm.
It's exercise, man.
So many.
It's exercise. So we've identified these parameters basically in men's advertising. And so a Canadian research team had read this study and looked at this study, and they decided to kind of give like a cursory, what we call in the world a literature review kind of, where basically they decided to look at 8 different magazines of varying topics with different reader bases. So we have everything from like Game Informer to Golf Digest. So you've got different audiences and different concepts, and they decided to like look at how many of these variables were represented in advertising. So they looked at a total of 527 ads and found that at least one of these variables was present in 56% of the advertising.
Okay.
With some magazines going as high as 90%. So in your men's magazine, your men's health magazines, I probably don't think this was Golf Digest, but I imagine something like a Men's Health is going to have these
Or like
hyper masculine
FHM
ads.
what are those other ones? Maxim?
Maxim. Oh,
Yeah, that's that other super
and Sports
geared,
Illustrated.
super geared toward dude magazines.
Yeah, so you're going to have these like your testosterone advertisements that are really
Oh, I
driving
love
home
Testosterone Weekly. Oh,
that are really driving home this idea of like power and like you should be able to like fight. Like they're always using like big muscly people that look like they could take you in a fight, like to advertise. And another interesting thing that they noted was that a lot of the advertisements were targeted towards a younger and a lower socioeconomic status demographic, which sociologically ties into a whole other thing that I am completely unprepared to discuss, but I was reading in my article. I was like, oh, this is a really interesting point, talking about how we're going to target different levels of socioeconomic status and what
targeting lower socioeconomic status.
it actually tends to be more towards, like, they tend to target because that group tends to be more receptive to the hyper-masculine image.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so people who, like, don't see conflict resolution as an option are more like, because they maybe have never learned conflict resolution skills due to socioeconomic status,
Or at least a very different
or a
conflict
very different
resolution
type. Yeah,
options,
they're more likely to respond with violence, and winning a fight is going to be what gives them a sense of manliness and pride, and gives them this idea that they are on top.
Well, coming from, and I can speak as someone who's won nearly 4 fights in his life, it does feel fucking great. Coming from someone who's lost about 3, I can tell you it doesn't feel great.
Does not feel
So
great
they
to
might
the
be
fight.
onto something here.
They might be. So, the thing that bothers me about this, I guess, the most is that it just seems so superfluous and so unnecessary. Like, we were just talking before we went on record here about Dr. Pepper 10 and their entirely failed advertising
That was
campaign.
so funny 'cause I forgot
where the
about that, yeah,
direct
but it's
pull
real.
line was, it's not for women, but it's a low-calorie soda. They just really wanted to go whole hog and just go, you know what, we're going to call this out on its face and say, manly men drink low-calorie
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper. That was
You want to drink Dr. Pepper, but you don't want to get fucking fat?
That's basically
That's what it
happened.
is.
And then
You want to
with-
stay jacked, but still rock Dr. P? That's what it is. And that, of course, failed terribly.
it was so bad. Like it was just so explicit because I have an article about Dr. Pepper 10 because it was so hilarious. Quote,
What the fuck year was this article?
according to USA Today, this is on Forbes. This is serious
All right,
citing I did
that's
here.
real.
According to USA Today, it was developed after the company's research found that men shy away from diet drinks that aren't perceived as manly enough. I'm sorry.
I do not understand.
What
who
man-
are they polling?
What man is really upset about Diet Coke?
I don't know.
I have never met in my life, a subjective experience, I have never met a man who's like, yeah, I can't have a Diet Sprite. That's girly. What?
I would love for
I want to meet that man, actually. I want to meet the man where Diet Soda is too girly for him.
I don't. It's got to be an old study. It has. I don't know, man. That's really hard to understand.
It's so strange. Like,
But then I guess it's not hard to understand because this keeps happening. Like
Right.
these marketing toward men or marketing toward women it's almost like marketing clickbait. It's
It is.
It's a very I guess I don't understand it because I don't see it that way, and I'm not really someone that can get terribly swayed by a marketing campaign outside of a bear on deodorant.
I mean, that kind of indicates you're pretty well
That 100%
swayed.
worked. But I mean, other thing, like I don't like. What was the other one? I think just because we're talking about beer, like what's the real low carb beer?
Oh,
that
we're
they
doing
hand out
White
at
Claw
marathons?
now. Oh no.
Mick Ultra. That's
Oh
the one.
yes, that's
It
right.
is piss.
Oh, it's garbage.
It is beer colored piss. It's terrible. But for some, and you know what? I guess I got to give 'em props because that shit worked.
Yeah.
That really worked. I saw that all the time.
It was associated with
People would be like, "You want a beer?
activity.
That's super low carb, man." I'm like, "Do I look like I give a fuck about carbs?"
I mean,
I just ate ribs. I don't give a shit.
I want
man.
if you're eating ribs, I want a real beer to go with ribs.
Yes.
Like not
But
piss
that's
water.
actually, I wanted to rail on that, but that worked. Every time you go to like a marathon, 5K, if they want to give you beer there, there's
always a light beer.
It's always like a Mick Ultra.
But it's because, you know, they've paired this idea of athletic activity, like mud runs.
Like you want to look cool drinking beer, but you don't want to lose that runner's high? Boom, Mick Ultra.
Well, it's like mud runs, you know, where you get this idea where you're doing like obstacle courses, like the Tough Mudder or
Yeah.
something, you know, where you get free beer afterwards. They use that as like a motivator. Because I've done a few mud runs in my life, and I'm like, the last thing I want at the end of the Tough Mudder was a beer. I really wanted to die.
Dude, I did the Tough
actually.
Mudder. I had like 9 beers, like right after that.
I slept for like 4 hours. It was awful. I was in so much pain.
It's horrible.
Never again. But
I was so manly when I was done.
it's such unnecessary branding. Like, and they do it with everything that could even remotely be considered feminine. Another example that I'd sent to Joe was this soap that makes you smell like gunpowder, campfire, and whiskey. Candles. Mandals. We have mandals. Candles with manly scents.
Well, the funny, I do remember that the whiskey smelling soap was Carissa's like, you already smell like whiskey. You don't need that.
That just emulates from your pores.
The
That's 'cause you're a
gunpowder. Who
drunk.
wants to smell like gunpowder?
Okay, so they launched fireworks right behind my apartment complex for the 4th of July. I came home because we didn't stay for them, and I just smelled nothing but gunpowder for 2 days, and it was awful.
Arousing. Oh, sorry. No, I went the other way.
Why are we doing this? But the fact that we've taken something as innocuous as like, here's the shit you need to stay hygienic, and but wait, it's got to be manly enough for me. I gotta smell like a man when I use this
These are like only
soap.
a few marketing campaigns away from marketing a deodorant called Ungay.
That was your first response when I sent you manly bands, which ties into a whole other issue of like latent homophobia and be like, how dare you use anything even remotely associated with anything feminine? Otherwise, you're branded as
All
gay.
these are just they're all straight. They're almost like little taunts. Like, well, you want a manly band? You want people to think you're gay?
And who the fuck is gonna look at your wedding band and be like, that's not a manly band. That's not a manly band at all.
No, I don't know.
Fucking queer.
Yeah.
And
That's
now,
what I'm talking about, though.
And now to preface this, I do want to
very-
say that I am
I
part
fe-
of the LGBT community, and I am not here to insult anybody. I have a lot of opinions on the issues we're going through as a collective and as bisexual specifically, but that is not for this podcast.
I'm not bisexual. I think men are gross. I love boobs.
mean,
I love boobs, and I'm super manly.
boobs are great. I do, however, want to touch on the gunpowder soap because
Hold
they
on,
have
I gotta
some-
get some more rosé.
Oh yeah, we do actually. He's gonna refill my brosé for me while I touch base with.
Oh,
our...
we're gonna post about this too because I really want you to see how fucking crafty Andrea is here. So
He said he would not drink rosé
She
if
did
it wasn't
so much
manly.
adjustments on this wine bottle. It's fucking beautiful. So because we wanted the pink wine for dudes,
We
because we
did.
thought it would be really, it would just be really funny to have that. But again, $48 give me a fucking break. I've never paid more than $9.
And that was for 2 bottles, so I'm like, okay, it's like
Yeah.
$24 wine, but also
But
I don't want to wait
she-
for it.
She basically changed it so it's just my name all over this thing. Not what was that?
It was
Something
Josh.
Sellers?
It's from Josh Vineyards.
It was from
But-
Josh Sellers. Now she just crossed it off and wrote Joe Sellers. So props. She took the rosé and just drew a B in front of it. And
Now
says
it's brosé.
This is manly marketing at its finest.
I
So,
crossed out the SH and put E, so it's
I know you're kind
Joe.
of looking for a new gig. You may have found it.
I did it. I fixed the wine label.
This is fucking amazing.
Well, like you said, I wanted to make sure you had the manliest of wines, the manliest of rosés. So to touch base on it again, I just want to talk about the advertising specifically for the gunpowder soap, which I found to be hysterical. Directly from the copy, quote, "To live dangerously, to live like a cowboy. If you'd rather live in your McMansion, listening to Kenny G on your Amazon Echo in the bathtub, while lathering your skin with essential oils, you may need this manly soap substitute. It'll make you smell
Lathering's
like
gay.
a cowboy without having to experience all of the life-threatening danger of the outdoors."
Jesus Christ, man.
So it's
The
like,
life-threatening
it's
dangers of the outdoors.
it's such an interesting turn of events because we've gone from being like hyper masculine to being like, this is still manly, but it's okay if you want to hang out with your bath bomb. Like if you want to have a bath bomb and like get a foot rub later,
This
it's
is
fine,
so-
but you'll
it's-
smell like
it's
a
just-
man, and that's what matters.
That's what it's. This is so odd. It's very, very odd. It's very awkward. Like all of it. It's because it's. And I don't know. Maybe it's purposeful. I don't know. But it's so purposely. It's almost condescending.
It is. I find it to be. I think
All of these are. They're
really
almost very
condescending.
condescending.
I find it to be really condescending to men, in general, because I find it to be like, yeah, we're gonna sit here and just play on trope. We're gonna play on stereotype that men, like, to be a man, you have to smell like gunpowder and
we
whiskey.
can guilt some dumbass man into buying shit. I am gonna buy the gunpowder. Honestly, a lot of these I want to buy because I want to see what they're. I don't understand why someone wants to smell like gunpowder.
Well, then there was like I brought up a little bit earlier, like mandals. So you have candles, like Yankee Candle came out with a whole line of things that smelled like beer, bacon. Do you remember the bacon thing? Like when we got like Parks and Rec was getting really popular, and like Ron Swanson, like the epitome of man, was all about bacon, and suddenly bacon,
All right, I'm with you.
everything exploded.
Because he got me hook, line, and sinker.
I mean,
I
look,
thought
Nick
that guy was
Offerman's
fucking
amazing.
great.
I love him, but
I'm pretty sure on my phone I still have that little 20-second scene where he orders all the eggs and bacon.
I will have all of the eggs and bacon.
Hold
you
on a
have.
second. I feel like what you heard was I'd like a lot of eggs and bacon. What I said was, give me all the eggs and bacon.
Your delivery was actually dead on.
Yeah, well,
but you know,
he's a hero.
So you've got Yankee Candle doing bacon candles, beer candles, fresh cut grass.
Who wants that? That's fucking. I don't want.
I mean, to be fair,
I don't want
I really
the
like
inside
the
of.
smell of
I do
fresh
too,
cut
but I don't
grass,
want the
but-
inside of my house to smell like fresh.
No,
cut
I want the
grass.
outside of my house to smell like fresh cut grass.
There's never been a time where I've approached someone and like, wow, you smell like beer, man. You seem like you're together. If you smell like beer, you're a piece of shit.
I did buy the beer smelling candle because I wanted to see what it was like, and it was actually awful. I love candles, I really do. But the fact that they had to take something as
I do
innocuous
too. I don't.
and genderless as candles, but candles are for women because only women want things to smell nice. You have to get a man
Chris
to
has
have a
candles
candle.
in our house. I like it when she lights the candles. I like because what happens is we'll clean.
Yeah,
And,
and then you light a
she'll
candle.
clean because I'm a man. But I mean, we'll clean, and then it's only because I can't find the mop. But but like
That's
so.
because you're a man. You just don't know. You're not
Yeah,
trying.
mops, no. I know where the guns are. But like but after like cleaning everything, then you light a can. It smells great.
Yeah.
And I've been walking in like, Carissa, why are you gaying up our house? I'm like, Carissa, our house finally smells good. I apologize for making it smell bad. Thank you. Like
least you know.
I didn't take candles as, oh my God.
They're only for women.
No, that's stupid.
Well, and I got my husband really into candles because he wasn't before, and then he got domesticated when he moved in with me. Or rather, I moved in with him. But he developed a taste for, like, the really, like, fruity, really food-based, like, Sicilian lemon. Forget about it. That is his favorite smell of all time. Like, he loves those really, like, blackberry. Like, he loves all of those. And I'm sitting here like, you don't feel gay? No, but really, I'm actually super jazzed about the fact he likes candles because we have a problem.
I love you're making more gay jokes than I am.
I'm allowed. I got my card.
I know that sucks.
I'll carry my card around.
But no, that's why that a lot of these things, like the pink wine for dudes thing, it sounds like you're trying to guilt guys into drinking pink wine when there's nothing wrong with it. It tastes good. I've had it prior to this conversation. I've had it
Right.
prior to pink wine for dudes. It's really nice in the summertime. We would go to like wineries. It's actually really nice when it's nice and like when it's warm
And you
outside
get a
to have
cold
those lighter.
wine. It's
yeah,
amazing.
it's nice. I don't want to drink a dry, warm red wine. It's nice sitting outside and drinking.
You want a refreshing,
Yes, it's
cool
nice.
wine. And rosé.
And I wasn't drinking
It's
it just
sweet
like,
or
oh, I
dry,
got to
it's
get
got
this down really
flavor.
quick or someone's going to see me. I didn't care about that. It's just, I don't understand that.
And that I think is an important point to touch on is this idea of like your interpretation of how you're being seen. Like, I'm looking at you right now, sucking down this pink wine. You don't look like any less of a man to me. I see you have a jiu-jitsu shirt on, so that
Yeah, I
actually...
wore that purposely, bitches.
He wore the jiu-jitsu shirt, and I wore a dress. So clearly we are falling into our predetermined gender roles.
Yeah, she's doing what she's supposed to do, bro.
And I wore makeup and everything.
It's true.
has
You
nothing-
are really trying, and I think that's great.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm going to go out after this and close down the bars. But, it's kind of...
You have a problem.
I do. It's called I like staying out until 2:30 in the morning.
Fuck yeah, where you going?
Winchester.
Nice.
Gonna go have a pint and wait for this all to blow over.
This podcast? It's not that bad. It'll get better.
Have you seen Shaun of the Dead? Come on.
Yeah, that was me. No,
Ouch.
that is the funniest thing about it, that it does. It seems like the pink wine for dudes is almost trying to guilt people into it because they. And you know what?
And your
I will
interpretation of how
give.
you're gonna be looked
I
at.
will give the caveat. This probably will work on someone.
It does.
There
no,
are
that's why they have
there
t-shirts.
are super
They have...
dumb people, and I'm about to use a term that I think you're gonna fucking love.
Here we go.
There are people out there where toxic masculinity is actually a thing.
It is. And it absolutely is. And this can tie into that big, greater issue. We got to do an episode just on the concept of toxic masculinity.
Well, I sent you actually something about that,
did.
of that one article, but I do want to talk about that.
We
the
do.
thing I don't like about toxic masculinity is I feel like it's a default every time something is not liked.
No, it requires a lot more critical thought than the media is giving it.
Agreed. But I think in something like this, I think it actually can apply.
No, this
for the
is
people
perfect.
like, well, bro, I'll buy that shit.
Yeah, it's for dudes.
I think it actually
it's
can
clearly
work.
labeled for dudes.
I think like someone like
Gunpowder soap? Hell yes.
someone gunpowder soap.
I'm
Christ,
sorry.
that's such a stupid idea.
Gunpowder soap, whiskey candles, whatever. Like,
Those might be okay. But let's take like myself or like who's the manliest dude that you and I both know? Patrick, obviously.
Patrick is the manliest. He's the
from-
Mac.
Patrick, oh Christ, Patrick from the great. That's across several medians now. Thank you so much. Think of the manliest dude that we know.
Patrick's
and
a
that's
manly
Patrick from
man.
the Guiltless podcast. And ladies, he's single. For right now, that could change tomorrow. He could get snatched up by a quality
Jump on it,
woman.
ladies.
But you know that dude doesn't drink peak wine. You know he smells like gunpowder and whiskey. He's probably never kissed a girl. You know why? Kissing a girls are lame. Sorry.
We're gonna go ahead and like flip that one on its script a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, that's a deeper one.
This is a deep cut.
But yeah,
here,
I do think that this can work on. I think it can work. Well, obviously, it has worked on people because it keeps happening. They keep doing it.
It keeps happening, and actually, I read another fun advertisement review because this is what I do. This is, I think, my lot in life on the Equal Fights podcast is to be the one who's looking up the scientific sociology related to what we're discussing.
And my
So-
internet's down, so I can't.
So I actually looked up an essay by Denise Curvin. I actually wrote down a name this time. If you ever want to Google it, it's called "Advertising Masculinity" in Esquire magazine. And so what the author did was she looked at a range from 1930 to 1980 of advertisements in Esquire magazine to look for the common themes of how they were advertising to men and see what was carried over and what wasn't. So there are a few interesting points that I want to put up here. The first one, and this is a podcast in and of itself, is how it kind of ties into this contradictory message that men receive as the breadwinner. So in the 1930s, the really big drive, 1930s, 1940s, was men are breadwinners. They are going to work. They are coming home. They are bringing home money. They are the be-all, end-all of the household. They're the ones who are making sure that everything runs smoothly.
It's true.
But then there's also this idea that when you look at men working for big corporations, like, men don't have the power, the corporations do. So you have this idea where men are feeling emasculated by not having any power because they are a cog in the machine, and this ties into capitalism. But so the point being that men get contradictory messages and so tend to gravitate towards things that make them feel manly, which is why this level of advertising worked. So they were told that because you're going to work, even though your boss reigns over you and you're a cog in this machine, you still are a man. You are still providing. You are still, functionally a man in this place. So that I found to be a really interesting tie-in. And then also looking at, in these advertisements, we're looking, I am consulting my notes. I took handwritten notes this time, guys. I on top of it. So in the 1930s and 1940s, we had that, but we also had this idea of a gender continuum. We had this idea where there is man on one side, woman on the other. You know, and I think that as we have grown and as our society has increased and changed and adapted to different gender identity and sexual identity, we have become more... we have developed more variety in our advertising. Back in the 1930s and 40s, it was pretty
straightforward.
straightforward.
I
It was
don't think
men, women, dichotomous difference. Like
there wasn't that clever kind of like advertising that you have today.
No, there wasn't anything that was like androgynous or applies to everybody. There was just very much like man
Well,
is
like Mad
man.
Men. Have you ever seen Mad Men?
Actually, Mad Men tied in a lot in this article.
I bet it kind of does because
I
it's
haven't
all
watched
about,
it, but I know I need to.
It's at least in terms of this, it does make a lot of sense because there were times because it takes place, for anyone who doesn't know, it takes place I think like late 50s.
It's like an advertising agency, isn't it? Too
Late
like it's supposed to be
50s,
like
maybe?
that.
It's an advertising but it's everything that there are aspects of it that I wish existed today. I wish you could drink at work.
One of my friends said the same thing about that.
They got smashed at work every day. But it's funny the way that they would advertise toward women or men, and like there's like actually a scene in one of the episodes where Don Draper, the main character, actually walks out to his secretary, Peggy, and asks her a question like, "What are women looking for?" And like he'll say to him like, "You'll never believe what she just said." And I mean, all these men kind of gather around.
It's like, wait,
because they can't believe that a woman knows what a woman wants.
Surprise.
It's really funny. There's a lot of kind of eye-opening, like, wow, you know what? It's weird to watch it now, but that probably is what it was like.
Yeah.
The advertising was very geared toward a certain type of demographic, and there's scenes and episodes where they were talking about advertising toward African Americans.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't call them African Americans in
I'm
the show.
sure they don't.
But I mean, it's stuff like that. Like it's so when you were saying the things about they didn't have the same type of advertising that we do now, and like it was very straightforward and very probably predictable.
Yes.
I immediately went to that show because that is what it was like.
Right. And you had this idea, like, and we still do this today with this idea of a hyper masculine advertisement. So you had like back then you had like the Marlboro Man. And then moving on, because this spanned 50 years, so it went to the 80s, you had like Ronald Reagan, like the America's actor before he became president. Nowadays we had before they retired him, the Dos Equis guy, the most interesting man in the world. You know, you had this idea of like, you look at the Dos Equis guy, he radiates masculinity. He is confident. He is well dressed. He is poised. Women love him. He's older, but he's handsome. So he's got everything that men should be striving for. Clearly, he has wealth. He has class. He is worldly. He is knowledgeable. And these are all things that they were still advertising in the 1930s that have carried over to today. So we're still seeing
That
these.
actually is a good point.
Yeah, we're seeing these common themes.
The Dos Equis guy
is the perfect hyper-masculine image.
Yeah, he's like that older. He's like a 70-year-old Clooney.
Yeah,
who, like still like makes a lot of money, does cool stuff, and hits a lot of ass.
right.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
makes a lot of love. Sorry.
whatever. We've got the whole zaddy culture where we have people like George Clooney. We have people like Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, not to pick on. I'm sure he's listening. Not to pick on George.
Yeah,
Clooney.
no, not to pick on Jeff Goldblum either, because I know. Like,
Oh God, he
knows I
you
love
can't
him.
bring this guy up every episode.
I have to.
I still don't understand
It's
the
beautiful.
appeal. I always go back to the same thing, and I mentioned it in the first episode too, of that stupid goddamn scene in Jurassic Park, which I'm sure he insisted on laying down with his shirt open, even though
I
he had
really
a
do
leg
need to hang
injury.
that shower
Why
curtain.
was his shirt open?
Because it's Jeff Goldblum, because
God
he's sexy.
damn it!
Sorry, I had to
fine.
drink. I had to have a sip of rosé for that one. But the point is, like, we have this
Plus,
idea.
I believe he winked at her during the movie too.
Ooh, yeah.
A Jeff Goldblum wink.
I would.
What's the
sploosh.
fastest way to get Andrea into the sack?
Sploosh.
Jeff
We're
Goldblum
done.
wink.
We're done.
Yeah, men don't get that.
That man ever like is in my vicinity, I'm gonna be a puddle of a human
Would you
being.
say
It's
that's
gonna be great.
toxic masculinity?
I would not say that.
Okay.
But the point is that we're getting into this idea where it's like the seasoned man, the well-traveled man, is the masculine man because he's intelligent and he's worldly. And this was a big thing in the 1930s and carried on. Was this idea that men, like the worldly man, the man who knows things, he is more intelligent than his counterparts and his wife.
You know what that they did though in that they didn't. They called him the most interesting man in the world.
But clearly
They
that's because he
didn't-
did stuff.
Well, it did, but actually, all the stuff that he did all that Chuck
Skydiving.
Norris stuff. He did. He
Yeah.
sounded very interesting.
Oh my God, Chuck
But
Norris.
they did not call him the most manly man in the world.
They didn't, but they didn't have to. They had it because he just projected that image. Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
look,
they didn't have to
you
say
look
it,
at the
but
Dos
I
Equis guy, you're
assume
like,
that
I want
guy's.
to be that guy.
I assume that guy's,
Drowning.
50-0 in cage fighting.
Yeah, I was
too.
gonna say he's just drowning in women. It's fine, but that was the thing. I actually did write the word confident, dominant, worldly, self-reliant was a big draw in the Esquire magazines in the 1930s and 40s.
I'm nearly 25% of those.
Yeah, I'm not any of those. And in the 1980s, the big thing that shifted was actually we were less clothing and younger men. So,
yeah.
so in that 50-year span, we started going.
Why did I fuck younger men?
Because
Hell
you started
yeah,
thinking
let's
of
do this.
you started thinking of the Calvin Klein articles that I was just about to mention. Like, so we started getting the Calvin Klein articles. We started getting the things where men were advertising, but they had to look a certain way. So instead of getting the nicely well-dressed man who could, be portly under his suit, whatever, you have the muscular man, the young-looking man, the heavily edited, shadowed man in Calvin Klein articles who was clearly very manly because of his size and his shape, and women were all over him because of his size and his shape. So we started focusing more on the aesthetic as we moved later on into the decades in advertising for men.
That's changed though.
It has now.
It's no longer muscular. Then it's like that heroin chic crap that went to happen.
Well, because then we had that whole
or skinny jeans.
we had the whole hipster movement. We had the whole bearded men with horn rimmed glasses.
Oh,
and
those guys look fucking stupid.
the stereotypical I drink IPA is my pumpkin spice latte kind of guy.
There you go.
Yeah, that we had that equivalent. But like it's so interesting to me. And there are also advertisements, and I want to bring this point up before I forget it. There are also advertisements in the 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, that whole couple of decades where corporal punishment against your wife, that violence component was seen as a good thing. So there was an advertisement I saw very
I think
distinctly.
that was only if they wouldn't listen, though.
It was a very distinct advertisement where a woman was bent
No, we're gonna blow over that. Okay.
She was bent over her husband's knee and being spanked for not having the right vacuum. That sounds ridiculous.
Wait. That was an advertisement?
That was an honest-to-God advertisement. And I'm sitting here like, okay, so we've got that tie-in with that violent component where like, but she doesn't have a face that she's in pain. She has a, oh no, I messed up. Which I'm like, this is kinky. This isn't fucking advertising.
Yeah, that's fucking hot. Can we find that advertisement?
I'm actually going to go ahead and Google that for you.
Yeah, if you could send that to me and then give me 10 minutes.
I'm pretty sure it was for a vacuum. Like
I don't
like
care
Google-
what it was for.
This is about to give
I'd
me
give
a
a
really.
shit if it was for a missile.
Here it is. I immediately found it because I Googled was
Because
spanking
it's at
advertisement.
your favorites. Just hand it to me.
This was for coffee.
What?
Here you go. It was for if your husband finds out you're not using the freshest coffee.
Oh, that's not as erotic as I was hoping. The suspenders kind of hurts it for me.
But it's the 1950s. Suspenders were
If
a
your
thing.
husband ever finds out, you're
Yeah.
not store testing for fresher coffee.
And
Jason
she's bent
Sanborn.
over, and you can literally Google this for spanking advertisement. Put your safe search on. If
Or
you
don't.
want-
I
or
advi-
don't.
I
If
advise you not
Hey, if
to.
you're into that, no, I'm not yucking any yums. By all means, you go. But yeah, we had advertisements like
Man,
that,
there's
which
some shit in here.
yeah, it's that violent component where she doesn't look upset about it. Because she's not supposed to be upset about. That's supposed to be her role. Like, oh no, she did something wrong. She's gonna get punished for it by the breadwinner because she didn't give him the right coffee.
Okay, this tone is arousing. You're going to have to switch it up here.
Is it my husky voice?
It's your raspy voice.
It's because I love kink. I'm very open-minded to kink. I think kink is amazing, safe, sane, consensual, as long as we're all doing that. Like, disclaimer, kink is awesome. This advertisement is not awesome. It's not awesome because of the implications of what it is.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we have this history of hypermasculine advertising that uses violence, that uses, the degradation of women, that uses whatever else I had in my notes that are not currently pulled up that I'm looking at.
That's
right now.
okay.
Hang on. Those are my bills. That danger is exciting. So we have that's where the most interesting man in the world, I think, comes in. Because what are in those commercials? He was always doing something completely outlandish, like he's swimming with sharks without a cage, or he's going
there were some-
skydiving without a
those
parachute.
Those were great commercials.
They were great
said
and
some-
effective, and I
they were
bet you
very
more
effective.
men were drinking Dos Equis simply because they're like, yeah, hyper masculine dude.
I'm trying to think of some of the. There were some really. It reminds the commercial reminded me of the Chuck Norris facts. You ever look those up?
Yes,
It reminded me of that because they were
we went
always
through that too. The Chuck Norris facts. Where
He
it was
like it was something like he once had an awkward moment just to see what it was like. Like shit like
he
that.
doesn't do push-ups. He does earth downs.
Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. It's something.
Yeah,
That's what it reminded me
masculinity.
of. It reminded me, impossible masculine. It reminded me of Chuck Norris facts, and they were funny. That's actually what really drew me to the commercial too. I thought it was a very clever, very well done.
And I think the humor is important because we've talked about like the Old Spice thing, and even to an extent like the Dr. Pepper 10 and this gunpowder soap is like they're pushing it to an extreme that is almost absurd.
Yeah.
That it's almost too much. You can't like fathom the idea that this is a type of advertising, but at that same token, you're like, but there's a bear on the label. I want it because there's a bear on the label.
Got me. You put a bear in anything, I'm probably gonna buy it. Let's be real.
Like I said,
Even pink wine.
Pink wine for dudes.
Pink wine for bears. I'd buy
Pink
it.
wine for bears is a completely different thing.
Oh shit! I didn't think about that. Oh man. Yeah, pink wine for bears. I didn't think about that. Nice catch.
More pink wine. Again.
Go ahead, pour yourself some pink wine for
I
bears.
am a card-carrying member of this community, and pink wine for bears would sell very well.
Fuck yeah. I'd buy
You know
that
what?
too.
Shit, that might be the Guiltless offshoot. Guiltless Network presents Pink Wine for Bears.
We don't do enough advertising for like products, and I think we have to start doing that.
I'll
more.
handwrite all the labels.
The Guiltless Network's going to have to start doing some more advertisements and some more product placement, I think, in our episodes for everything. Pink wine for
Well,
bears.
I mean, I think we did a great job here. We've got Manly Bands. We've got the Knocking Hill Winery.
Oh, we've hit it all. We've hit
got
all
the
of it.
gunpowder soap, which you can Google gunpowder soap. Which when
I got to go
did
back
that,
through all those texts because I do actually want to order a lot of these products. I want to try them out.
Which when I Googled gunpowder soap, I actually pulled out something called Outlaw Soaps. This is brand new to me.
And right, see, I'm kind of into it already.
Because it's called Outlaw. So what are you
Because I want some
when
of
you
the
think
kind
of
of soap
outlaw?
you use. I'm like, no big
Hyper
deal.
masculine
It's
and
outlaw.
violent.
It's outlaw for men.
There's no outlaw women. We have what? We have Bonnie.
That's not true.
One half
what
of
about
Bonnie and Clyde. Kissing Kate Barlow from
no?
Bowls.
Who is the murderer, the serial killer hooker that Eileen? There you go.
Eileen Wuornos is not
Yeah,
an
what a
outlaw.
role
She
model.
is. She's
What a role model.
terrifying.
Or
Also-
or the woman who chopped up her family with the axe, Lizzie Borden.
Oh.
I mean, you got to dig a little deep, but
Well,
yeah,
then,
you got a couple.
No, if we want to keep it painfully current, the fact that I share my first name with Andrea Yates isn't great. The one who drowned all her kids.
Well, wait, how old is she?
Oh, she's in like her 40s now.
Well, it's not like you were named
40s,
after
50s
her.
maybe. I wasn't.
It's like
I hope.
it's not like your parents are like, oh, it's our daughter Andrea. We named her after Andrea Yates.
No, I was supposed to be an Andrew. That's the problem.
Oh.
So the Blazing Saddles leather and gunpowder soap collection. First off, Blazing Saddles is a great film that could never be made today. I will defend Mel Brooks with my life. I love that man so much, and I can quote every
Yeah,
line of that movie.
that was.
However, the Blazing
It's no
Saddles
dude, where's my
collection,
car? But it was pretty good.
Nah. The Blazing Saddles collection, quote, smells like leather, gunpowder, sandalwood, sagebrush, and all-around Wild West adventure. Smell like a cowboy, feel like an outlaw.
Oh,
I literally just looked this up because I typed in gunpowder soap.
I must just have not just been really paying attention to a lot of these things because these are just not things that I guess I don't really notice.
Oh boy, this gets better. Hang on, I'm scrolling through this. We're gonna do this like in media res. What do we have here? We have Blazing Saddles Natural Hand Wash, the sexiest soap in the West.
Wow,
And
they're
then we
really
have-
sticking with a theme, huh?
Blazing Saddles Natural Hand Wash and Lotion Set. Set some sexy by your sink. There's one called Lust in the Dust. I'm done.
Lust in the Dust? What is that?
Lust in the
that
Dust.
soap?
That's lotion, apparently. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things that make me, and that's sold out, according to this, from Outlaw Soaps.
Lust in the Dust from Outlaw Soaps.
Yeah, the
Very least
desert
I'm buying that
western
t-shirt.
romance everywhere you go. I gotta say, they got me with lust. I'm kind of curious.
God, Andrea.
Delightfully sudsy. Feels like showering outdoors. Hang on. No, wait. This is good. Feels like showering outdoors without everyone judging your technique.
Jesus. Everyone
Feels like
judging
a
your
journey through the desert to a sultry oasis rendezvous.
Fuck.
This is beautiful. This is everything I want. It smells of desert sage, sandalwood, and lightly smoky campfire. Makes your
Maybe
skin...
you're the one that's getting sucked into
I might
these
be.
adver-
I might be, because it says
I
makes
would
your
like to
skin
see your
silky smooth.
I'd like to see your Amazon history like in the next week because I feel like you're gonna buy all this shit.
Honestly, maybe.
You're like, no, Nick, just try it. Nick, just try it.
Well, that's the
Outlaw
thing.
soap, smell like an outlaw.
That's the thing. I when I have gotten like things to make Nick smell good, obviously. You know, like when on our wedding day we exchanged like fragrance. That sounds really strange, but like I got him the classic Armani, whatever the popular one is, Dio something or other.
Chris and I did the same thing.
Yeah, I got him cologne to wear on our wedding day, and I have perfume to wear on our wedding day. So now we have like
Oh, we
signature
went the
wedding
other way.
day
We
smells.
farted on each other.
How romantic!
Yeah, hers was manlier than I expected. But
That's
she's
'cause she
been
drinks
using
bourbon, too.
gunpowder soap.
She drinks bourbon too. She knows what.
She does drink bourbon and beer.
I know.
She has dude fuck.
She's a woman after my own heart. But when I went, like, one of the things my husband and I like to do is when we go candle shopping, we go to Bath and Body Works. And Bath and Body Works has their whole man aromatherapy collection. And so Nick actually has a couple of the body sprays he's got, but they're always one word solid names. Like women, we get like tropical sunrise or pretty as a peach. And he gets ocean.
Sledgehammer.
He gets ocean or bourbon.
Dick punch. Dick punch lotion. Feel like your dick's being punched.
But it keeps your skin silky smooth.
Who the hell wouldn't buy dick
Because
punch
it's
lotion?
not hyper masculine advertising that's almost parodying, but it works. It is hilarious.
Shark cock. When you want your cock to be like a shark.
What does that even
Why am I not in
mean?
advertising? Doesn't matter. You'd buy it.
What does that mean?
Nick would walk by and at least sample it.
He would.
He'd be like, why would I not sample shark cock?
Who doesn't want to sample shark?
That's not bad. I'll give it a whirl. And for some reason, I only know how to advertise in one voice. It's that very aggressive voice that I'm using.
Again, this and it's like a subconscious thing. You're just like, how do I advertise this? It's got to be hyper masculine. It's like that. You remember Napoleon Dynamite? You remember that guy who's teaching karate with the American flag pants?
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
His whole like made-for-TV commercial.
Who wouldn't take at
just
least one class of that dude's karate?
Masculine. Like it's just so. It just strikes me as so funny that in this day and age where we're starting to be like more open, more accepting, which is great and awesome, we still hang on to these gendered tropes of men have to be smelling like rocks and fire and like primal instinct bullshit. Well,
Rock fire for men.
well, women have to be like soft and delicate and feminine and candles and cotton shit. And I love the fact that I can look at Carissa and see her rolling her eyes, and I'm like, she gets it. Because we're both sitting here like, this is some bullshit. I like cotton. I like bourbon. Why not both? I want a cotton bourbon whiskey
Bourbon cotton for
smelling
women.
candle. Why not both?
When you want to feel like cotton, but you can't stop drinking. Bourbon cotton. We could probably do an entire episode where you just give me two things and I advertise it to whichever demographic I'd like.
As you can tell, we've gone through almost a whole bottle of rosé in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, brose. Or
Brose.
Jose.
Yeah,
As
Jose.
I actually,
Brose Jose. I had 2 beers before it.
I had a beer and a half before this, so I mean,
Yeah, I dropped acid at work. All right, what else you got?
so
Have we beat the shit out of this yet?
it's not even that we've come to a conclusion. As opposed
I don't think
to our
there is
life-
a conclusion.
There isn't a conclusion, but it's worth talking about, and it's worth noticing the next time you go out and you start looking at advertisements, start looking at how they're directed, because women have always talked about how advertising has affected them in terms of body image, in terms of you know, what we need to look like, what we need to act like, what we need to be like. But the fact of the matter is that men are dealing with it too. That doesn't take away from ours, and that does not mean that we have not dealt with a whole bunch of this shit forever. Because again, from the 1930s, we were supposed to be subservient housewives who got spanked for not having the right coffee. But I think it's worth noting that, you know, keep an eye out for these things where we're still in the year of our Lord 2019 dealing with this concept of hyper masculine advertising. And like now it's played for laughs and it's played for parody, and you've got companies like Gillette who are trying to push against this idea of toxic masculinity, which will be an episode in and of itself. But
That shit was dumb.
that whole outrage over it was dumb, in my opinion.
I know.
It's a Super Bowl advertisement. Let people live. But that being said, hyper masculine advertising is one of my best worst favorite things. Pink wine for dudes really does exist. If you like rosé and you're a man, it is.
You're probably gay.
Shut up. It is.
Oh, but you do it. It's okay.
Exactly.
It is okay because of that card
carrier.
that you have in your
Card
wall that I
carrier.
still haven't seen.
But when it is 90 fucking degrees outside, drink your rosé. Like, enjoy it. Have it ice cold. Like, it's amazing. There is nothing about these inherently sexless objects that needs to be sexualized. We don't need to have manly soap, manly candles, manly wine, manly makeup. Like, nothing changes about the production, and everything that changes is the cost and the advertising. It's stupid. Don't be manipulated by it. And just fucking drink your wine. Damn. That's my whole thing on this. It's so absurd to me that we're still doing this. That pink wine for dudes exists, and I'm sure it's a great rosé. I know
it's
nothing.
probably terrible.
I don't know. I know
They're
nothing
putting
about
all
wine.
the they're putting all the energy in the marketing. It's probably shitty. We're fine just drinking brosé.
I know nothing about wine.
Rosé of Jose.
I'll be honest. I'm a beer drinker. I know nothing about wine. I'm like, this is a dry pink wine that I am drinking, and it tastes good.
Yeah, you pour a glass of I don't know. You pour me a glass of wine. I take a sip. I'm like, ooh, this is a
wine.
This is a damp.
This is a wine.
Yeah,
I'm drinking
this
a
one's
wine.
liquid form, probably from the Outer Banks.
So,
Like, I don't fucking know.
I guess to wrap up this whole thing, you know, I can speak to what I see in advertising and what it says to me. But I know clearly you are swayed by a bear on the label.
One time. I don't think that I should be
Multiple
crucified
times.
because I've been swayed one time. Because quite frankly, let's be honest, in the next 10 days, you're going to buy gunpowder soap. You're going to buy all these things for Nick, and Nick's going to be like, what the fuck? I don't even know what I'm
Nick
supposed
will
to smell
literally be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because he's not.
But I did.
That guy.
I'm really glad that we did. I really enjoyed this a lot because it is really, really funny. And I didn't really. I guess a lot of the stuff, like when this comes up, I ignore it because I will see and like, that's dumb. I don't get it. It's stupid. And
This is why I
ignore
like
it.
you, is because you're not as susceptible to this.
Minus the bear thing.
Minus the fact that he has bear deodorant.
It's so good. Shark cock for men. Okay, so anyway, let's wrap it up. Couple quick things. So obviously, we want you guys to keep listening.
Please
we're gonna
do.
keep.
We
We
have
already have a ton of episodes kind of
We
lined
have a
up as far as
doozy
topics.
of a next episode that I'm really excited about.
Yeah. We have a lot already lined
It's
up.
actually going to be an argument because Joe and I inherently disagree on the thing, so it actually will be an equal fight.
Yeah, well, not equal. I'll win, but the
He's got bear deodorant on his
so
side.
much bear deodorant, bro. If you guys can, please definitely check out the first episode. This is our second one. We're probably going to be releasing more frequently. I think just with holiday family shit, we weren't able to
It got a
record.
little silly for a
It
while.
did get a little
lot
silly.
of life changes happen.
At the very least, we want to do monthly, but I'd like to do more, and I think we will. Now that
Same.
we're going to get on a more kind of like consistent schedule. We have so many topics; it's going to be very easy for us to do it. Check out the Guiltless Network. With the Guiltless podcast, the I Still Like You with Dan, the Pop Culture with Dan, obviously with the Equal Fights, and I think we mentioned on our last Guiltless podcast
We have our new one coming up, the FUC.
the FUC. I think we finally found a host.
I think so too.
Despite the fact that he smells like gunpowder and Ben
I
Gaze.
mean, he looks like the kind of man who would smell like gunpowder.
It truly is, yeah. And like unintentional. Not that he just killed someone, like he
No,
just
he
puts
just-
anything on.
He's just like, this said soap on it, so I'm fine. I'm not going to
Yeah.
deal with the advertising. I just
But
want
it
to
didn't
smell.
say soap. It said soup.
Not bad.
Yeah, he smells like clam chowder. So no, you're good. We actually invited him over so we can kind of listen to everything. So everybody wanted to meet him. But
Hey, as I say, everybody had to get the vibe.
yeah,
but
but look forward to that. We're pretty excited because that's one we've been trying to find a host for a while. But I don't think there's anything else. As always, I am your equal co-host, Joe. With me always is the incomparable Andrea.
Joe is equal to my incomparable, so I guess that makes him incomparable too.
I didn't really Yeah, that's fine. But thanks
The
for listening,
incomparable
and
coast.
we'll talk to you guys soon.